Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're taking a massive blueprint of 27 distinct leadership competencies and, well, transforming them into a highly actionable framework that you can use right now. It sounds like a lot, I know, but we're going to make sense of it all by breaking it down into logical, manageable pieces. So, what actually makes a truly effective leader? It's a huge question, right? Too often, we kind of treat leadership like a static human resources checklist. A list of disconnected traits you either have or you don't. But what if we completely reframe that? I want you to picture leadership as an expanding sphere of influence. Think of it like a ripple effect that starts from within and moves outward. Here is our roadmap built on 5 concentric circles. We've got 1, leading yourself, 2, leading the team, 3, leading the operation, 4, leading for the patient, and 5, leading into the future. We'll just move intuitively from the foundation of self-management outward to broader impacts on culture, operations, the public, and innovation. Okay, let's jump right into Circle 1, leading yourself. This is the core. Remember, every great leader absolutely must start by managing their own foundation. You know the old saying, you simply cannot pour from an empty cup. Leading yourself practically starts with effective prioritization, making sure you actually have the resources to deliver efficiently and on time. But to sustain that productivity without burning out, you have to actively manage your own health, set realistic goals, and seek support when you need it. Ultimately, you've got to keep growing through continuous professional development, encouraging peer learning, sharing good practices, and actively seeking out feedback. Now, the absolute glue holding this entire core together? Accountability. True personal leadership means taking absolute responsibility for your actions. It's an active, ongoing process of self-correction. You don't just hear feedback, you genuinely use it, paired with some honest self-reflection to actually improve how you act. Moving on to Circle 2, leading the team, focusing on culture and collaboration. Once your own foundation is solid, your sphere of influence expands into fostering an environment where your colleagues can truly thrive. These foundational team skills are highly proactive. First off, it starts with adapting your communication style to suit your audience and really checking for true understanding. From there, it's all about encouraging open dialogue so your colleagues feel empowered to speak up, and then, crucially, actually following up on what they say. By being visible, transparent, and just present, you build relationships that genuinely value diverse perspectives. That's how you create a collaborative space where shared decision-making just becomes the norm. I really want you to listen to the gravity of this specific commitment. I listen and respond to colleagues' and patients' concerns with interest, care, and professionalism. This right here is the human element of managing. It's about genuine civility and compassion, a great reminder that beneath all the strategies and operations, we are dealing with human beings who absolutely need to feel heard and respected. And this brings us to a really delicate balancing act, building engagement versus managing conflict. On one hand, you're bringing positive energy to build engagement, helping people feel involved, recognizing their strengths, celebrating those big wins. But on the flip side, you must possess the sensitive, crucial skill of managing conflict. That means keeping your cool during difficult conversations, balancing openness with sensitivity, and knowing exactly when it's time to pull in expert advice. Now, let me be clear, safety is absolutely non-negotiable. As a leader, you've got to make sure that everyone acts safely and can spot risks. But equally important is psychological safety. You have to ensure that everyone feels totally secure to speak up in the workplace. Because without that trust, well, you simply cannot have a high-performing team. Let's transition to Circle 3, leading the operation. This covers performance and operations, and it's where the rubber really meets the road, tackling the hard realities of resources and governance. Operational leadership is tricky because it requires you to master 2 seemingly opposite directions at the exact same time. When you're managing challenges or navigating a crisis, you need to support your colleagues by encouraging them to focus closely on what they can actually control. But simultaneously, you have a massive obligation to influence upwards. You have to make sure their voices are heard, that concerns are escalated to upper management, and you've got to be willing to negotiate on their behalf. When it comes to managing performance effectively, there's a really clear progression. Step 1, you start by setting a clear purpose and objectives that align with the big picture. Step 2, those expectations get embedded into meaningful appraisals. Those appraisals then seamlessly guide Step 3, the continuous support and development opportunities you provide. And Step 4, well, if things go off track, you must be willing to step up and directly address underperformance. I know. Managing public money can be incredibly stressful. Literally, nobody wants to be the one to blow the budget. But these operational pillars are highly practical. Staying in budget just means using financial awareness and digital tools to actively spot savings and cut out waste. Following procedures and good governance isn't just bureaucratic red tape, it's about understanding how those policies directly affect patient care. And finally, utilizing data means empowering your colleagues to combine evidence, digital tools, and their own critical judgment to make truly solid decisions. All right, moving into Circle 4, leading for the patient, focusing on patients and care. If operations are the how, this circle is our ultimate why. In the healthcare and public sector context, literally everything we do is for the people we serve. And this cannot be passive. You must actively respond to safety concerns, feedback, and the priorities of patients and colleagues alike. The goal here is simple but profound: to support safe, high-quality services and to tangibly improve people's everyday experiences. Think about it. Your operational efficiency means absolutely nothing if it doesn't translate into better outcomes for the public. Take a look at this quote. "I help build the inclusive cultures and services needed to deliver equitable, personalized support and care, ensuring all people feel valued and heard." Personalizing care doesn't just happen by accident. No way. It requires a leader who is fiercely dedicated to building a deeply inclusive culture from the ground up, a place where equitable support is just the baseline standard. Finally, we arrive at Circle 5, leading into the future, all about change and innovation. This is where a leader looks outward to the horizon, focusing on continuous improvement and transformation. To lead into the future, you've got to encourage your colleagues to be relentlessly curious. Be brave enough to try out new ideas to improve how you work. But it's also highly practical, right? You need to actively help others build their digital skills. You have to carve out the actual time and space for your team to experiment and adopt new technological tools. You can't just mandate innovation from the top down, you have to facilitate it. Now, because innovation always brings change, you must know how to shepherd your team through those messy transitional periods. How do you do that? Well, by actively listening to their concerns, offering genuine reassurance alongside clear information, and openly sharing good practices and lessons learned. Giving that kind of practical advice keeps the team united and resilient, even when the ground is shifting beneath them. So we've journeyed from the core of self-management all the way out to leading into the future. And I want to leave you with this provocative question. Which of the 5 circles of leadership will you commit to developing next? Don't try to toggle all 27 competencies at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Just look at the framework, find your biggest gap, and take immediate focused action on your leadership journey today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning out there.